Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Heavenly Parent Holy Community Oceania Hundoke with Reverend Yataka Yamada. Today being Monday, the 2nd of August or the 24th of June in the 9th year of Chongyol. So let's begin as always with a bow to our Heavenly Parents and true parents. Chariot, Kambe, Haro. And let's recite our family pledge, both in Korean and English. Thank you.
가전맨세 4. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님의 찬조 이사인 천주 대가족을 형성하여 자유와 평화와 통일과 행복의 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Family pledge number 4. Our family, the owner of Chongyol, pledges to build the universal family encompassing heaven and earth, which is the Heavenly Parent's ideal of creation, and perfect the world of freedom, peace, unity, and happiness by centering on true love. And I'd like to ask Reverend Kenji Watanabe if you could offer the opening prayer, please.
Presuming prayer. Dearest Heavenly Parent, true parents of heavens and humankind, today, as the 24th of the 6th month Chongluk year 9 and 2nd of August 2021, we gather together virtually as a team of the Oceania, centering on Reverend Yutaka as the captain, and we are heading towards the destination of Chonggilguk. And we pray that we are able to fully united, centering on the Reverend Yutaka, who is the totally aligned with the true Mother on earth and true Father in heaven, so that we can truly able to move forward together and develop the God's providence here in Oceania, as we indebted so much by our beloved true parents who invested a lot in this region as well as the world, and we as a fruit of the true parents Solomon mission, and we have to bear fruit further in this region and beyond, and please encourage each of us to be able to fulfill our portion of responsibility so that we can truly able to offer the joy to you, and we only have the grateful heart, whatever we face, and now is a time for the harvest, and let us move forward together and not leaving anybody behind, and we all are supposed to become the Chombo families. Please encourage each of us to be able to fulfill such solemn mission given by our beloved true parents. And I would like to ask you for your presence and guidance in this Fundok session, morning devotion, centering on Reverend Yutaka. And we gather all the sincere heart of our brothers and sisters gathering together here, and offer a report in the name of Kenji and Keiko Watanabe, in the name of Blessed family, on behalf of all brothers and sisters gathering together here. Aju.
Aju. Thank you. And let's give a warm welcome to Reverend Yutaka as he shares with us this morning. Thank you.
Good morning, our brothers and sisters. Welcome and thank you for joining our morning Fundoke. Today is also beginning of the week and beginning of the month of August. We will connect with our true mother and offer our heart to our heavenly parents and true parents, and let's begin this new moment. So now true mother is in Korea and organizing many kind of event, also activity or providence, to joining the Sunday service with Korea and Japan church, and also now Songfa ceremony is coming soon. Songfa, True Father Songfa anniversary is coming soon, so several event is going on, and especially end of this month, this year, the anniversary visitation of North Korea. 30 years anniversary of visitation of North Korea. This is one of the bigger providence in Korea and the world. So we have to pray well and support. And as the Oceania region, we will also put our heart and make a foundation and to support our area. So we really have to solve and have to find a way how we can solve those COVID cases now each island nation or even our community in Australia side and even island nation side. Still our activity or job and also the movement itself is not recovering full of the original status like before starting of COVID cases. So even many kind of limitation, but really we put our chance on, then really have to overcome together. Beside of our family members or our leaders and beside of our nation, really many people is facing challenging situation now, but really let's put our heart and overcoming together. So we are always concerned and really pray, and surely there is the way, so which we will continuously go forward. So now August, there is COVID case is almost 1 year half. So I think there is many also good cases. Some nation, each nation try their best. So I hope soon our area, also our nation will find the right answer and overcoming together. So it's the best. So today also we will continue to read our Mother of Peace. So today this part is the last part of chapter 7 of True Mother's autobiography. So we will read this one. So yesterday we share about the youth education, especially Mother is talking about special program in Korea 1,500 years ago, the Farando, right? In the era of Silla dynasty, that time Silla dynasty organized the educational program, name is Farando, to raise up the young people. So yesterday I watched the drama, Farando drama. So that is 20 episode. Of course, I didn't watch everything. Anyway, that is interesting. We can watch through Netflix. There is English subtitle. So of course, this is drama, Korean drama, and the historical things. There is many kind of the political matter, historical matter, many things. But anyway, essence is really how to protect king, how to create the nation, and how to raise up young people for fight, protect, and fight the nation. So those kind of drama, I didn't watch everything, but anyway, so those Silla history, Trumada created Hyojeonran. Hyojeonran, what is Hyojeonran? Hyojeonran is to educate young people who can really attend heavenly parents, attend to parents with filial heart, attend parents and attend the world and create the Cheonilguk. So Hyojeonran, this is really Mother encourage and try to educate our second generation. We really concern and guide also together how our next generation young people to connect with heavenly parents' heart and true parents' heart. So those education program is going on. And of course, those Hyojeonran and also education of young people, Mother is talking about education of young people to next generation in this chapter. But this meaning is not ignoring our first generation or our blessed families. We are also have an important role to restore the nation, to giving the blessing, change their life, and to restore and establish Cheonilguk toward 2027. This part is same. Even we are talking about the younger generation, but there is current providence, current era is also needed. So everything should be going together. In the past era, together with our true parents and even the Bible story, past era and the current age together with true parents and the future age, all first generation, second generation, third generation, fourth generation, those history have to go together. That's why this chapter, especially mother, is sharing about future young generation, how we can develop, how we can inherit, how we can prepare. So those part now we are sharing. So let's continue. Next part. So mother's autobiography, I will read this. In February 2017, at an assembly at the HJ International Cultural Foundation in Gapyeong County, east of Seoul, we inaugurated YFWP's successor, the International Association of Youth and Students for Peace, IAYSP. I asked the 1,000 or more participants to be the special forces that built God's kingdom of Cheongguk, and they put my words into action immediately. In June of that year, 12,000 young people took part in the IAYSP Youth for Peace rally in Bangkok, Thailand, where I implore them to become the leading figures of the culture of filial heart and the light of the world. So after creating the GTGY, Global Top Gun Youth Workshop, and also after sharing about story of Hyojeong-ran, Chulmada inaugurated the IAYSP, International Association of Youth and Students for Peace, in February 2017. True parents also mentioned before in the God's word. True parents have to organize the Family Federation, Women's Federation, Youth Federation, and also Student Federation. That's why, like based on those God's word, True parents' word, finally True mother also established the Youth and Student for Peace. This is the Federation of Student and also the Youth. This IAYSP is not only for our unification youth. In the same time, even society, there are many kinds of young organization, youth organization. So IAYSP will connect and work together with all youth organizations in each nation for future world and future peace. This is the role of IAYSP. And what Mother said to the young people that I asked the 1,000 or more participants to be the special force that built God's kingdom of Cheongguk. And after that, Mother also organized the 12,000 rally in Bangkok, Thailand, and announced the new beginning. Maybe some of you went to Thailand and attend this inauguration rally. And in Oceania also, 2019, we had the inauguration ceremony in Sydney, in Australia, 2019. Do you remember that? We did, right? Together with another event. And now, also in each nation of Oceania, Samoa, Fiji, Marshall Island, and several nations, IAYSP is really actively doing many kind of activities. So for the future younger generation, always we have to concern and we have to invest for that. Then in September of 2019, at the Africa Summit and Blessing Ceremony in Sao Tome and Principe, 40,000 young people gathered at the Festival for Youth and Students. The capital city's White Plaza, with the view of the beautiful sea, was packed with young people. That evening, the Hyojeong Cultural Foundation hosted the IAYSP Youth Sounds of Peace with various performances upholding universal values. So after that, Trumada organized the world tour, world speaking tour in all over the world. We organized also a world summit in several places. So that time, 2019, Mada visited to Sao Tome Principe in Africa and organized 40,000 young people's rally. So all people, this kind of a rally is not only just a gathering of young people. When they gather together toward one topic and one subject, then already that kind of things become the vision and become the power and become the encouragement of the nation and also the world. So end of the 2019 in Palau, we also organized the IAYSP event in Palau, the main hall. So that time in Palau, from high school to college, all young people from all over the Palau city, Palau nation gathered together and organized the IAYSP event that time. And they said that is the historical event. First time all young people gathered together. That kind of number of young people gathering in Palau is the first time in the Palau history. You know, Palau population is not so much many, but almost young, all people, I think 800 to 1,000 people, all young people gathered together and have a conference. So that time we organized to encourage them and to share them what is the real vision of our youth, and also cultural performances, character education also together, and speech program. So many young people was really excited and they are really expecting us, please continue. So that's really so sorry when we think about the Palau. That moment was really excited moment, but after, because of COVID, everything stopped. So I'm really sorry for that, and I'm really preparing for the next program. So our Mrs. Margaret and Mr. Tim came back to Palau. This is also a new starting point. So Palau become the new creation again. So please pray again always, Palau Providence. So Mother is organizing IAYSP. So how we will organize? When we see our nation of our Oceania, some nation is developing well about IAYSP, but some nation is not developing so much. We cannot carry on everything. Some nation is focusing more UPF side, some is more family federation or blessing side, some is also focusing more youth movement side. But ideally, we have to organize all area, right? So we have to make a plan. Even busy with another things, but we cannot ignore and we cannot ignore our youth part, our second generation, our third generation, and also our youth movement. If we don't concern, if we don't invest this youth area, there is no future. There is no connection. That's why our youth movement side really have to concern and have to put support and also investment. The First Lady of Sao Tome Principe, Nana Traborda, and the leaders of each cabinet ministry participated in celebrating the revitalization of their nation's youth. It was the largest youth and student festival to date. I spared no effort to give the young people hope and encouragement with the words, "You are the hope of Sao Tome. Because of you, the pure water, Sao Tome can achieve the kingdom of heaven on earth that our heavenly parent desires." So in the rally in Sao Tome Principe, Trimada organized this event together with government of Sao Tome Principe and share this vision in front of government minister, in front of core member, 40,000 young people of Sao Tome Principe. And Mother said, "You are the hope of Sao Tome. Because of you, the pure water, Sao Tome can achieve the kingdom of heaven on earth that our heavenly parent desire. So mother encouraged the young people, you are the one to create the kingdom of God, kingdom of heaven on earth. So really we could see this all youth education and movement is important. I also visited many countries and to organize the youth education and event and rallies. So when I see the young people in each nation, really depends on the nation. Young people's concept or mindset or interest is different. So some nations young people is only thinking about own career and own job and a stable life and only future life and doesn't concern so much other things. And some young people is wishing to have many kind of experience to live for others and practice and to sacrifice for the nation and the world. So when each young people have an original mind, and if we share the vision, they can feel the meaning of youth or meaning and value of the life and also the future. But because of environment, so much busy schedule, busy environment, busy friend, and there is no space in their heart. Even many kind of problem, family problem, and the parents and child problem, and the social problem. Because of that, young people also cannot show their pure heart and some kind of the original heart and cannot decide to go what they want to do. That's why mother continuously share those messages. How about your nation's young peoples? Their mindset, they are purely focusing for only their future's life, or really many young people want to live for your nation or even your society. That's why when we see our young people, we can find our nation's future. That's why we have to be serious more. Who will really guide our next generation or young generation? If we don't invest them, or if someone really initiate this youth movement, then our future, nation's future, will be automatically decided. So mother continuously sharing those messages and expectation to all young peoples in each nation. For hundreds of years, the French royal family employed elite young soldiers from Switzerland. The Swiss Guard is world renowned for their dignity, loyalty, and selfless service. Today, it is the Vatican that received the protection of the Swiss Guard. So mother is talking about the Swiss Guard, young people in Switzerland. So Switzerland young people is going to another country to help and guard that nation. So they also supporting in Vatican in Europe, right? And I heard also Nepal Guard is also famous. Many Nepal young people also went to another country and to become guard to help the nations. So how about Oceania Island nation? There is those kind of tradition or young people. Some young people go to another country to support or guard for others. So we could maybe find also. So we are creating the future of God's kingdom of Chanukuk to fulfill God's dream, like Joshua and Caleb. Like the Swiss Guard, the IAYSP must serve the highest heavenly purpose in this time with an indomitable spirit, never yielding to any difficulty. IAYSP members are the loyal citizens and filial sons and daughters of God's kingdom. They are true parents' pride and the protector of heaven's will. No matter what difficulty emerge in their time, such young people will meet those challenges and emerge victorious. They are the ones who own the future. That's why mother is talking up to the IAYSP, her expectation. The IAYSP must serve the highest heavenly purpose in this time, with an indomitable spirit, never yield to any difficulty. And also, mother said, they are children parents' pride and the protector of heaven's will. So how was mother's expectation to IAYSP and young peoples? So really we have to develop that things. When young people dedicate themselves to heaven with body and soul, no matter their position, they can become filial sons and daughters and patriot remembered by our heavenly parent and all generations. They will know that the growing pains they endured for a short time have an eternal value. So this chapter, Mother is talking about the role of youth and expectation from heaven. In the society and in the nation, many young people are waiting to connect with heavenly parents and connect the God's will. In Oceania, our youth foundation is not so much strong. We could see many kind of possibility, but we could not invest yet so much. So under those heaven's wishes, desire, and also mother's expectation, we really find the many people to carry on this mission and lead the youth movement. So our all brothers and sisters also support and cooperate and develop our youth movement. So youth movement is not only carry on by youth, even our elders also we can carry on the youth movement, right? So all ourselves, how we can concern and guide the youth in city and the nation. So let's plan, let's create well, and let's educate and invest our youth movement, especially the education side. So I will continue also the word of Champumogyeong. This part is also the last part of education. So today is also changing time of the chapter, youth and also the education. So yesterday also I share the to the parents message from Champumogyeong, and father said, do not do this for my sake, but do it for the nation, rather than doing well for my sake. Do well for the sake of the nation. If teachers say, if parents educate like this to the student, to the children, and student can learn, and children can learn through parents and through the teacher's dignity, teacher's attitude, and even they can become those persons to live for the sake of the nation and the world. So when we see the people around us, how many people, how many teachers, or how many parents who has those kind of determination or this kind of attitude or will to educate the children to be the people for the nation and the world. And when we see ourselves, what kind of attitude or tradition or will are we showing to our children and our young peoples? Our true parents show their heart through their life toward our heavenly parents, and to liberate our heavenly parents' heart and to liberate the all human beings. And True Mother is working currently to invest whole life for liberation of heavenly parents and liberation of our true Father, to fulfill vision and dream of heaven. So in front of our heavenly parents, how we can stand together. So Mother is mentioning about, True Father is mentioning about the purpose of education. So let's continue to the next part. For what purpose did God set up the educational institution called the church? The responsibility of the church is to teach and train people of all races. It is a training camp, a spiritual training camp protecting the families and citizens of the future. The church must accurately teach the path that the family, the tribe, and the nation will follow. By focusing on the church, God endeavor to create the family, tribe, and people of the future. So Father is talking about the church, but actually this is not only just one church. Father is talking about church, meaning is also the purpose of a religion, and also purpose of now Mother is establishing the heavenly parents holy community. So our purpose of church, purpose of temple, purpose of religion, and purpose of our community. What is our purpose? Father said this is the training ground. Mother is also educating young people as the Hyojong Rang. Heavenly parents also invested until that time throughout history through the religion, in the temple, in the church, or in the community. That's why our center is also same. Our church also same. Our temple is also same. Our holy Heavenly Parents holy community is also same, to play this role to make an educational place and educate the people. Education should not be only for the benefit of one's own nation. Education should transcend national borders as it embraces and leads all people. You should think the world is one, and we study for the sake of the world. In any case, the world must become one. After all is said and done, it will become one. So this is important things. Almost same contents with True Mother's autobiography. How we will educate to the peoples. And Father said, the world is one and we study for the sake of the world. So when we educate the people, people also create the world and nation. So when we have a education, the world become one and people study sake of the world. Looking from the point of view, from the entire spectrum of education, what is needed is religious education because it is able to transcend national borders. Next, philosophical education is also needed because it too can transcend national border. That's why Father is talking about the education of religion and education of philosophy, because those education can beyond the nation and beyond the border. So what's the contents of those education, religion and philosophy? Key point is one point, how we can guide and share, introduce our invisible God, invisible heavenly parents, and purpose of life, and the purpose of the direction of the life, living for the sake of others. This is the main key point, connecting with God, connecting with heavenly parents, and including our spiritual world. So how we can educate. That's why Father is mentioning the importance of religious education and also the philosophical education. So this is the last part. In other words, we must realize a form of global education that combines philosophical and religious content. In the future, any nation that does not support an educational philosophy that serves to benefit the world cannot stand before the world and humankind. That's why, what kind of education? Centering on God, centering on divine principle, beyond the nation and beyond the world. So people should live for the nation, people should live for the world, love heaven, love people, and love earth. Those educational contents is the main education which our heavenly parents is teaching to us, and the true parents is also sharing to us as the meaning of education and the purpose of education. That's why when we meet the head of states, when we meet the political leaders in the leader of society, we can discuss also, you are as the political leaders, what kind of nation really you want to create? What kind of states actually you want to create or make? And when you meet the religious leader also, as the religious leader, what kind of society you want to make? Just you are living for your own life, or you are living for the nation or people of this nation or not. So through meeting with our religious leaders, ambassador for peace, political leaders, or even any kind of person, we can discuss. When we think about society, what do you think? Do you think this society is good society to inherit to the next generation or not? When we see our nation, this is really now good status or not? If our nation is not perfect yet, let's support, let's create, and let's make a beautiful culture in our nation. So this is the things which we can do as our effort. So the one family vision, one family's vision in the world, how we can create and how we can effort. That's why now there are many activity in the several field, in the media side and academic side and cultural side, religious side. Through those education, through this discussion, then this point is the starting point to think and develop how we can become the person to live for the society, nation, world, and God through education, through activity, through movement. Heavenly Tribal Messiah Chombo activity is also one of these, to share the God's word. And youth activity and also the VIP activity is also same word. That's why how we can share and put the message is really important part. So today I share about Tirumada's autobiography and also to parents word of the Champumogyeong. And this chapter 7 is today's growing pains bring tomorrow's sunshine. So almost we share this chapter for 1 month, talking about mother said young people should have the passion and vision. Do you remember? And also the ocean providence, we share about ocean providence, right? And also that story of the Temonim. And also educational institution and educational program for the young people or next generation, Sammu University and UTS, and now GTGY and Hyojong-rang, and also education of the YAYSP. Through those mothers' message, we can remind again how heaven's plan and wish is there with young people, young generation, and the future generation. And we are here as the person who are coming together with God and true parents, how we can create the foundation and develop to make a Chaniguk and inherit the next generation. So coming those contents together, and we will go forward to the next place. So really we appreciate, I'm really appreciate everyone to join every day for morning Fundoke. Today is the beginning of the day, beginning of the week, beginning of the month. Let's put our heart and offer the happiness and also blessing to our heavenly parents and true parents. Thank you very much once again. 감사합니다.
Thank you very much, Reverend Yutaka, as always. Really inspirational and showing us so many insights. I was touched by they are the ones who own the future, talking about the youth, and from that I started to get the feeling that I mean, they are the ones who own the future, but we need to save the future because of society, and we know, that all the problems within society and the breakdown of the families, etc. I mean, we really need to save the future. And then you went on, so I was thinking about that. You mentioned growing pains, and when I thought of the word pain in relation to growing, I was thinking they are in pain because they are not growing the way that God intended. If they grew the way God intended, then they would be experiencing growth with a lot of joy and satisfaction. But there's pain because they're not getting clear education. And so when you talked about the education and that, we really need to teach the children the value of filial piety and purity. And that's why even in the family pledge, you know, we talk about the family, the 4 great realms of heart, the 3 great kingships. You know, this pledge we say over and over again, which is basically trying to help us, you know, train ourselves and learn about, you know, what is the 4 great realms of heart and the 3 great kingships, which are all aspects of the family. And they all, you know, our children need to go through them correctly. And so my feeling was, you know, we really need to be very concerned and serious about how we can save our children by basically education, teaching them that, you know, the role that they have, and to maintain their role, they need to really become people of filial piety and purity. And then God can finally be proud of them, because you mentioned, you know, they are the pride and protector of God's will. But through training and education, they can actually truly become that. That's why Mother set up those different institutions, you know, for youth education, and, you know, to come out and to be cadets, you know, to really fight for God and God's will, you know, with the weapons of filial piety and purity. So I was inspired to think, you know, this global education institution needs to come about. Because when I think of global education, very often we think global means it's done somewhere else. But we need to start thinking that we are part of the globe. So we have to think, well, what is the education uniqueness and qualities that we have in our region that can be part of the standard that can be within this global education? Yes, it's you know, the divine principle and true parents and the truth. It's that, but what we have in our regions are examples of how that is happening, how the family structure, you know, can benefit from the way in which Oceania, you know, especially the island nations, you know, relate within the family and within their tribes. So I was just thinking, that we need to save the future by really improving our educational content and method. So thank you. Just some thoughts I had when Reverend Yutaka was sharing. So happy to open it up to others who want to share their thoughts or inspirations. So, thank you. Yes, Doug, go ahead.
Offering a writing essay contest and giving it a substantial prize, like of $1,000, asking our youth to write on their ideas of how we can incorporate certain things like education and ethics, understanding ocean provenance, you know, what would they do? What ideas do they have to develop like a maritime education, combining the love of the ocean provenance and also virtue training and education, even coming up with a name, a series of essays every season of 4 times a year helps us to get a feel of what they're interested in themselves, gives them time to build up ideas and discussion among themselves. And in 1 year's time, good things would come out of it. They might be able to come up with a real great name, a visionary name, you know, like the Boy Scouts or something that sticks in people's minds, the Maritime Cadets or something like that, and get the discussion going through essay contests. That's all.
Oh. Thank you, Doug. Good idea. Yes, Seneca, go ahead. I need to, you turned it off and then back on again. Yeah, turn it. No, did it softly? Yes.
Yeah, I saw today's the credit to the mothers. I met parallel time, I met the group of IAYSP, right? Because just name is just so many stuff. But anyway, that young gun is very well. Then few people so much helping, and they said, leave home mother, because everywhere mother organized to San Tome first, and then Cambodia and Palau. They are so well trained, and so any situation, difficult situation, they handling very well. And so actually, so I'm happy to work with them too. I just a little bit at work, but so much well organized, and that's they said for to mother to educate us to help that all the event successfully and nicely for especially higher VIP or whoever brothers and sisters. Then they also treat very well to brothers and sisters too. Nicely, we are elder, but so slow and everything, but they were looking after first generation also kind of global Top Gun. That's kind of I thought. Thank you.
Thank you. Sutek has his hand up. Go ahead.
Good morning. Can you hear? Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Okay. Yeah, today we read about YSP, internationalization, and then YSP. Before YSP, there was a YFWP, and it was established. It was inaugurated back in, I think, 1994 in Washington D.C. At the time, I could join. Maybe some brother sister here also were there, but yeah, at the time, Two Father also called many Korean university students, and some of them are communists, very strong, communist idea, and they are outside Korean students. Many, actually, I heard that many of them came to Washington D.C. and then had the inauguration. And after inauguration, Two Father invited them to attend some education. So at that time, Two Father, I heard from people who were there. Two Father have only short time with them. So what Two Father shared was very important, and which Two Father say, I could only have a short time to share. So this is the most important education I could give. So what Two Father shared was about purity and about sexual organ, So yeah, many people wonder why in this kind of important student meeting, why Two Father talk so much about sexual organ and purity. So many people can understand, and I heard some people ask Two Father why. Two Father explained that I may not meet them again, and I have only short time with all these students, and that is the most important thing I could share for their life and for the future. So we can see how important I think education about purity for not only outside but also I think inside our movement. Because as a parent, I also have experience, and I feel concept about purity is actually not so strong because of the environment, society. To educate about purity, it's not so easy in our movement and outside. So I think that is something we as a movement need to continue to develop. And then that was 1994, and then in 2004, I was in America at the time was UTS. And then at that time, two father, two mother really emphasized study Korean language. And yeah, at that time, two fathers say, until certain year, I'm not sure what exactly the year, two fathers say, I won't use translation anymore. So all of you need to study Korean. And then there was one Hundoke morning in America. And then there was some like religious leader and also outside American attend with a two father. And two father at that time used a lot of English, like to explain something. And then there was a guy who said to two father, Reverend Moon, I cannot understand you because your English is a broken English. I heard the member were shocked why this person say like that. So two father actually was upset because two father tried to use English to convey his heart. Then two fathers say something I think is good to remember. Two fathers say to the person, I speak broken English, but do you speak broken Korean? Two father asked the person, I'm making effort to speak broken English, but do you at least speak broken Korean? So the person was very quiet because it is true, we don't speak broken Korean, right? But two father at least speak broken English. So I think Korean language is another thing, our second gen, in order to understand two parents. I think we need to emphasize as a movement to learn Korean language. Otherwise, we cannot understand. But God's providence is now make Korea through drama and also Korean culture. Now many people in the world love Korea and love Korean language. I think as a movement also we need to learn Korean and love Korea and understand true parents from the language, from being understand directly instead of true translation. So I think that's one thing I myself want to teach, encourage my children to learn, as well as myself also need to learn Korean. Yeah, that's I want to share this morning. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
And the last person today, Susan, go ahead.
Yeah, just sort of following on from what Douglas was had said, I think sometimes with our second gen, our young people, we try to pigeonhole them into certain things. Oh, we have to do this, we have to do that, without really understanding what it is that they want to do, what their passion is. And I think we lose a lot of them because we do that. And I think we need to reach out to them. We need to actually listen to them more of what they want to do, what's in their heart. And maybe an essay competition is a good way of doing it. But yeah, we need to let them express themselves and not try and pigeonhole them into certain areas. Yeah, so that's all. Thank you.
Yeah, so true. Thank you. Okay, everyone. Actually, time's up because we've gone past the time. I can see Margaret has a hand up. We could sort of squeeze her in if you're quick. Go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. From the Janggu Mogyong words was my takeaway this morning, with Father emphasizing the role of religious leaders. Last night we had a family get-together, a gathering, about 40 to 50 people of preparation for my older sister's funeral. I noticed that at the end, they asked me to pray. So I deferred it to my older sister, who's a Catholic. I wanted to hear her prayer. So my practical take away from this morning is that as religious leaders, all of us here, having learned the divine principle, is to help our families as well as the community of faith how to pray. And I noticed that every young person in our gathering were, all have the mentality there is a designated person praying for any gathering in our families because they don't know how to pray. So to me, that is a very good way to start gathering father's prayers, mother's prayers, and begin a process. At least that's what I'm thinking should be a project that I like to start with my home church families, that none of these children know how to pray. And then it's left to who is to teach them how to pray, their mothers, their fathers, or the church leader? Who is to teach them how to pray? So this is a very powerful tool to begin to introduce the duality of God, as True Mother has already given a new name of our movement, which is Heavenly Parent, Holy Community. So it's a great idea to introduce how does one become a holy person. Is to first connect to God. How does God connect to God? Is to learn how to pray. So that was an inspiration that I got in the gathering of the family, that none of these young people want to pray. They're afraid to pray. They don't know how to pray, they think. Yeah. So anyway, that's my takeaway from this morning, Hundok's father's word.
Okay.
On the role of the religious leaders. All of us are leaders in that department.
Okay, thank you, Margaret. Thank you, everyone. Now it's time for us to offer our unison prayer. Just give me a moment and we can pray together. Okay, let's begin. Arju, Arju, Arju. Thank you, everyone, and have a great day, and see you tomorrow. Okay, bye-bye, everyone.
God bless.
Bye.
Have a
Thank
good
you.
day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a good day. Bye.
Thank you.
Have a good day, New Zealand. Bye-bye.
Bye.